Hi there, it's Steve again from Buck and Bites, and today I'm going to cook one of my most favorite things to serve to my guests. It's called Forever Roasted Pork, and it's a recipe that I learned from a restaurateur by the name of Michael Chiarello. You might recognize him from Napa Style and the Food Network and Fine Living TV. At any rate, with all the restaurants that Michael has been involved in over the years, he has said that this is the most requested recipe that he ever gets. So it's not just me that has this high opinion of this dish. At any rate, we're going to start out with getting some onions going because this is a really protracted recipe time-wise, and this is one of the first steps that we need to get out of the way so we can move on. So what I've got here is 3 onions that I've peeled and cut in half just to make it easier to slice. I'm going to slice these thin and then head over to the stove and cook them. So anyway, and then I also have about 2 cups of golden raisins, and these are going to go in with the onions as they are sauteing. So we have a half a cup of water, and we'll cover the pan, and this will cook for about 10 minutes. And what we're looking for in these onions is just that they're soft and not sopping wet. The next step with these is to turn them out onto a sheet pan and let them cool, because these are going to be stuffed inside the pork. So to proceed with the dish, we have our sauteed onions and golden raisins. To work with here, I have an 8.5 pound pork shoulder, or also known as pork butt, roast that I've asked the butcher to bone and double butterfly. So as I go to truss this up, you're going to see that most of this filling is going to end up falling out. So we'll do as good a job as we can keeping it in. If we lose some, no big deal. So there's a fat side on this roast, and it's the section over here on the underside. There's, I'm sorry, not fat, but skin side. And anyway, so we want that up in the roasting pan. So we're going to behave accordingly and roll this over the top. And as I mentioned, we're losing some of the onion stuffing, but we'll suffer with it. Okay, now the string I have to truss with, unfortunately, is thinner and therefore sharper than I would like to have. But again, we can make it work. So if we do probably 2 ties in each direction will be good enough to hold our roast together while it's in the oven. Butcher's knot, which is just around twice and around twice kind of thing. Okay, that should do it, I think. I'll get the roasting pan. I've lined with foil and added a rack just to make it easier when it's done to move it out of the pan. And then obviously the foil is to aid in the cleanup. So we have the toasted spice rub that we made earlier. And it's a real interesting combination. If you haven't watched that movie yet, you definitely want to, because this is made for this particular roast, I'll tell you. Everyone that's ever had this has just really loved it. So this is going to be in a 275 degree oven for between anywhere from 10 to 12 or even maybe 14 hours depending on the roast itself. At 8.5 pounds, we're probably looking at right around 12 hours. Okay, so the roast has been in now for right at 11 and a half hours. And it is finished. So when you pick at this roast with the tongs, it pulls apart pretty easily. It's still pretty juicy, and the aromas are amazing. So I can pretty much be assured this is going to be a hit today at the party. But I need to double check. Yep, that's edible.